Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the episode of Lights, Camera, Rant. As always, I'm your wonderful host, Mr. Rant, and what a week we have had. I swear there's been a new trailer nearly every single day. There's also been some really bad news that I'm kind of really gutted about because I was really looking forward to that. Some other news that is good or bad, depending on how you want to take it, and something that if it does happen could be really huge in that sense that we're going to be diving into. But if you haven't already, welcome to anyone who's a brand new listener. Pull up a drink, and we're going to be ranting about the latest news and get into reviews, which we're going to be talking about the season finale of the Peter Jackson Season 2, The Sea of Monsters, and also talk about what that means for the horizon for Peter Jackson Season 3 that is coming this year. And if you haven't already, please go check out last week's episode where we reviewed 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, which was fucking fantastic. Look, a little bit debatable, depending if you like 28 Years Later, but 28 Years Later, Bone Temple just completely takes the cake. So without further ado, let's get into the news. And let's start very strong with He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. We got the brand new trailer for that, and holy shit. This film, I slightly completely forgot this was actually coming out. I knew it was on the horizon. Didn't realize, totally forgot it was going to be coming out this year. I thought it was going to be 2027. So seeing the trailer was really cool, but everything about it, how the characters look, the CGI, Skeletor. I have also seen the comments that have been like, yeah, but Skeletor is also being played by Jared Leto. Whoop-de fucking do. Like, I'm sure the man's going to have a win. You got to remember, this guy's an Oscar winner. He's done some really great work, so give him a break. Yes, Morbius wasn't too great. Yes, the Joker, debatable again, not really that fantastic. And of course, Tron Legacy didn't really hit the mark either. So hopefully Skeletor will work as well if we just cover up his face, which we may get a flashback in that sense. But one of the really curious things I've seen in people's comments, like I didn't think of it straight away. Watched the trailer, loved it. He-Man definitely looks like He-Man. All the costumes look great, but I have seen someone's comment that was like, this reminds me of Thor Ragnarok, which I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, I don't see what you meant. But then when I started looking at the comparisons, I was like, oh, damn. There is a bit. If you look at some scenes story-wise, I know people are going to be like, oh, that can happen to any superhero film. But yeah, there's a few comparisons between this and Thor Ragnarok. Now, do not forget, this is coming out June the 5th. This is amongst the whole Odysseus, Supergirl. This is getting all rolled into one. And also, if anyone doesn't forget that we go live every single week. These episodes come out every single Tuesday. And a big shout out to Omar Brambler9359. Hi. Thanks for coming past. Appreciate it. And I am terribly sorry if I butchered your name. I am terrible of that. Also, shout out to Nova Hampton 1. Also, thanks for coming past as well. But yeah, so He-Man looks really good. You could go in multiple different directions with this. It could go a bit more grounded and look a bit silly, or it could go more in that mystical realm for superheroes. And I think the tone from the trailer that we've gotten and the action, it looks spot on, because it's very hard, of course, to go make He-Man more grounded, especially when it's He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So I'm glad it's a little bit more grounded. Sorry, it's got that mix, that superhero grounded mix to it. I do like that. And I generally think this might take the cake on being one of the best films of the year. I know it's a bold take, but just from that, just the fact that Skeletor looks like Skeletor and his fight scene looks epic, and just that little snippet we've got, like, that looks great. The poster alone looks great. I do like the aspect that we do him in the real world. He's going to come back to his real world in that sense. So I do really like that. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be one of the top films. I don't think it's gonna make a shit ton of money, especially when it's coming out a mix of that entire batch for summer films. But I could be wrong. Again, this year, my biggest takes that's going to make the box office is Dune 3, Avengers Doomsday, Odysseus, Supergirl, and Super Mario Galaxies. Like my top picks that are going to make that moolah at the box office this year, especially for what's coming. But look, if something could be the nice little like underdog or kind of background of seat, that would be great. Like for me last year, the underdog or kind of really was expecting how good that was going to be was F1. That really surprised me, and it did make a decent money at the box office. So hopefully we do see something. Hopefully this will be the underdog and making some decent money. And also, less than 24 hours removed, we got some Dragon Ball Super news. Not only is Dragon Ball Super coming back called the Galactic Patrol, which will be adapting the next arc in the Dragon Ball Super franchise, which is fantastic. I've been waiting for so long. Like, don't get me wrong, the last movie was good. And the Tournament of Power was fantastic. But the Tournament of Power feels so long ago, which it was. Watching it, I'm like, it needs to come back. We need Dragon Ball Super to come back. It is coming back. At this stage, is rumored it's going to be coming out in 2027. Hopefully, which they did. Hopefully, that does mean the fact that that is both English that will be also adapted at the same time, because that would be fantastic, and that's what we always hope for. And not to mention, this is going to also be interesting, is that there's going to be a Dragon Ball Super, the Beerus arc, Battle of the Gods, that's getting remade for 2020, the end of 2026, 2027, roughly, Mark. That is getting made. Look, I was kind of like, I'm still going to watch it. Like, I'm all in. Big Dragon Ball Z fan and Dragon Ball fan right here. Like, I'm going to watch it. But I tell you, it's not probably something I'd be like, okay, we really need a remake of this or a reimagining in some sense. Like, don't get me wrong. It is a great movie. It was well needed, especially after the huge dry break that we have had. But did I think we were getting a remake in a sense? Did I think we'll be getting that now? No. So news I did get to see, that's probably like the least on the totem pole for me. More is the fact that Dragon Ball Super is coming back, and I can't wait for it. It's been one of the best news that we've gotten in a big week. I wasn't even expecting to see that, so that's an absolute win. Also, if you haven't got your drink, definitely go grab that. But Dragon Ball Super fans, we're going to be eating very soon. Star Wars fans, we also got our brand new trailer of Maul Shadow Lord. Now, the real bonus for this is not only was that trailer chef's kiss in the entire thing and fantastic, is that this will be coming out every single week, going from April the 6th. But the bonus thing is, it looks like it's adapting a bit from Andor, last season Andor, where we got 3 episodes. We're getting 2 episodes, which is great, which is roughly works, I think, about 4 or 5 weeks that we're going to be getting this. So again, like we right now, if you're a fan of The Boys, if you're a fan of Invincible, if you're a Star Wars fan, if you're a Family Guy fan as well, I'll throw that in, and Marvel fan, like myself, we have so much that's coming out. Like, honestly, March, we're going to be eating good, because March, we've got Daredevil Born Again, which the trailer should be coming out soon at some point. We've got in April, we've got The Boys. We've got Invincible around the corner, which we're going to be talking about next. We've got Darth Maul in April. We've got this Ball series in April. Ted Season 2 is also coming out. All that breaks. There is so much to consume and enjoy in the next couple of weeks, a couple of months. So the year is starting off so strong. To me, I feel like a lot stronger compared to last year. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we got X-Men 97. We got Spider-Man, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. We dig in Invincible, which Conquest was brilliant. which I'm going to be talking about again. We need to talk about that next. But, just with this, just the fact that we have this and we have the Mando movie coming out later this year, and hopefully Ahsoka season 2, which is currently shooting at the moment. So hopefully that's going to be wrapped up and we get that this year. And if it is, that means that we get a great year in 2026 of Star Wars. But the Darth Maul's TV show, that trailer just that blew me away. I am all in. It's well near the fact that we need a show on him for his perspective and all the lore of Star Wars. So it'd be fantastic to see what he's been cooking up to in this. Between with the shows, there's a lot of his history that's missing. So it'd be great the fact we're going to be picking that up straight into that. So that's gonna be great. And of course, which I'm really don't get me wrong, I'm excited for all of this. But Invincible season 4, full season 2, it's not being broken up again like season 2, is coming out on March 18th that we will be getting this. And it's, of course, the trailer is, here's a little bit of story. And then the rest of the trailer is just action, beatdown, bloody, team up, thrag, all going into this. It is looking fucking brilliant. I am all in on this. The animation looks a little bit better. It looks a little bit more crisp going into this. So hopefully, again, this is a shown because I know everyone talks about how terrible the CG television animation is for Invincible. I think that's literally what everyone talks about in this. But yes, we get it. Hopefully, this is a sign moving forward. But don't forget, Robert has mentioned the fact there is still about, I think, 6 or 7 seasons that are locked in with Amazon at this stage, but could go longer depending on the popularity. So the comic books, but they'll be fantastic. Shout out to Moon Z6R. Thanks for coming past as well. Appreciate it. But Invincible, this is going to be, again, I know it was going to be brutal last time because we got Conquest, but the part that they're covering is that we will get, hopefully it's not going to be like a season final cutoff in that sense, is that we are going to be in Conquest versus Invincible again, rematch, round 2 fight. We will be getting that, which will be great. I can't wait to see that. And it's not even just the action I'm excited for, is that we're going to see Nolan return to Earth and talk Debbie, see how that falls out. Something that's been lingering ever since season 1 of what's happened between them. So I'm really, really curious to see how that's going to play out. What's happening with everyone's powers. That's also fantastic. That's also going to be curious going into this. And what it means. The next few arcs or pages that they're going to be covering as much as they can. It's, again, but really, ever since season 1, even in the book, the train going up for Invincible is just going up higher and higher. The thing is they need to match is the animation. And I'm loving the fact that we are getting Invincible. We're getting an Invincible season every single year. That's what we needed. That's what we want. And keep doing that. Amazon, keep paying the money so we can get seasons every single year, because it stopped being a stinge sometimes. I don't know. Also, in gaming news, we got some good news, we got some bad news. But good news is that we do get the first trailer for Fable with the release date that is coming at later this year. Now it says autumn 2026, which for us here in Australia, we're looking roughly about July, August, roughly around about there. It should be dropping, so no official release date at this stage, just that time frame. But the curious thing is, it's something that I thought we would never see. It's new. I never see, but it's just still such a weird thing to see that says Fable, Xbox, Xbox Series X, Steam, PC, PlayStation. It's still there. That I think is still wild to me. That just I won't be able to get used to that. Forza, I won't get used to the fact that that's going to be on PlayStation. And then this year, when I was talking about the top games this year, I know it's not a new game, but getting Halo campaign evolved this year, which I'm pretty sure I think is about the same time of when that. I don't think that came with a release date, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be roughly about then as well. No, actually, no, I forgot. It's going to be coming out more in November because it aligns with the 25th anniversary of the franchise. Yes, so that's when Halo Combat, Campaign Evolved will be dropping this year. But yeah, just seeing that, it's just wild to me. And I don't think I'll ever get over it. I know it's just a small thing, but when Gears of War dropped, like Sea of Thieves, that's more of a new game, so that wasn't that's okay. But seeing these legacy titles, Forza, Gears of War, Fable dropping on PlayStation is great because I'm like, good, I don't have to buy an Xbox. I have nothing against Xbox. I just haven't bought the latest. I haven't got the Xbox Series X. I haven't bought that. I probably won't buy it, especially because of the fact that all these games are now dropping on PlayStation anyway. So I'm all up for that an aspect. It just means one last thing you have to buy. Also shout out to Queen Netapip 6987. Thanks for coming past as well. Everyone's saying hi for this episode. Yay. But yeah, it's just so Fable fans, there's a lot you can do in this one. It's massive, it's huge. It's funny because when I first saw the trailer, which I know it's kind of based on the same thing, but I looked at it, I was like, wow, if I didn't look at the screen properly, this almost looks like Hogwarts Legacy at first glance. So that's that was funny. That was just me on that aspect. But yes, Fable, you can get married, you have kids. It is big, it's diverse, it's about time that we got a new Fable. So definitely put that into your Amazon cart or pre-order, whatever you need to do for that one, because looks like that's shaping up to be a big game in a year that is very stacked. And I do hope that hopefully soon. I know people like maybe get sick of me talking about this, but we get the second trailer for GTA 6. This gameplay stuff, that'd be great. And just to crush these rumors that's going to get delayed again. I hope it doesn't. But I hope it, just something a little bit more tidbit in that sense would be great. Also, we get our official look at Jason Momoa as Lobo in the upcoming Supergirl film that comes out in June. Now, this small trailer that we got, he looks great. Pitch perfect ripped directly from the comic books. We have Lobo, and he lives up to that. And Jason Momoa has been pitching for this for so long, so I'm so glad he gets to play this role. I can't wait to see this character on the big screen. It's funny because I was looking at his makeup. It also reminded me of the fact that he did want to play the Crow at one point. If you do go online, type in Jason Momoa Crow, there is some test footage that he did. And it would have worked. Just the fact he would have been a very jacked, very solid Crow. Yeah, you're ready to kill him. But we got the first look. It's not really a spoiler for anyone. We did get it. So here it is. If you are watching the episode, video-wise or listening, you can definitely go check it out. It's just a really small teaser, but we did get Lobo, who's going to be one of the main threats to Supergirl in the upcoming movie. So I can't wait to see what he's going to do with this role. And if you do want to see Jason Momoa a little bit soon, I think it is this next week. As we're recording this, that he will be in his buddy cop movie with Batista. That'll be dropping on Amazon Prime, so definitely go check that out. Also, lovely little thing for the Muppet fans, we are having a Muppet Show special that is dropping on Feb the 4th with Seth Rogen, Sabrina Carpenter. The trailer came out this past week. Looks good, looks funny. If you're a Muppet fan, and for kids, I highly definitely recommend to go check that out. Looks like it's going to be good. You can't really go wrong with Seth Rogen, the Muppets, and Sabrina Carpenter. So I'm all up for that. It was just when I saw it, it was just something I was like, oh, didn't know this was in the works. I'm not going to send in more Muppets, because I grew up on the Muppet movies. So I'm all for it. So hopefully it's good, and hopefully we see more of these specials. Okay, so Avengers Secret Wars. Now, this is a wild theory, and if this is true, this is what I mean. So we know, I know, if everyone's been listening to this podcast for a while, you know how excited I am, you know how on board I am, how we've been cracking down on theories, we've been talking about what could happen, who's going to appear, all this fun stuff. But a wild thing that we have not played or even thought about is that what happens if Secret Wars is actually too big? What happens if Doomsday and Secret Wars, just 2 movies, isn't enough to encapsulate this entire huge story that they're trying to do? The multiverse saga, in all of its sense, what happens if it was just too big for 2 movies? So there is a theory, there is a rumor going around right now. The Russo brothers are trying to talk about the fact of splitting Secret Wars into 2 films. So you have Avengers Doom. So if you break it down, Avengers Age of Ultron, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, Avengers Doomsday, and Avengers Secret Wars Part 1 and Part 2. Now, the interesting thing about that, I can tell you straight off the bat, they will not do, the names will not be Avengers Secret Wars Part 1 and Part 2. Kevin Feige doesn't like that. That's why Infinity War got changed. Because originally that was going to be Infinity War Part 1, Part 2, but he said that they changed that because of the fact there were 2 separate films. I highly doubt they're going to do Secret Wars Part 1 and Part 2, or they'll rename it in that sense. But look, if it breaks down to the fact that we need 2 films for this, hallelujah! Like I'm all up for it. Give me another Avengers film. I'm not going to say no, because by the time Secret Wars comes out, it's probably going to be another 5 to 6 years or even longer to the next Avengers film, because they've got to rebuild everything again, because we're really at that end of the spectrum. So we're really at that point. So that sense. So, but yeah, look, if this is true, fuck yeah, I'm all up for this. If they're going to split that up, it just means the fact that look, if they split up, I know some people might be annoyed with it, but look, I guess it just gives them more time to flesh out some characters, and things don't seem so cramped, because there is a lot on the plate that they're doing right now. There is a lot that they need to accomplish in this. So I'm all up for it if they're going to split it. But yeah, that is the hot topic, the fact that Secret Wars could be split into Part 1, Part 2. Essentially, almost broken down to another Avengers trilogy in itself. And it's funny because you have like Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, Star Wars, A New Hope. But the fact of getting Avengers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like, yeah, go about 6, 7. I don't know. If they do, I know they're still getting another 3 movies on top of that to beat Star Wars. Because there is 9 Star Wars movies. So they're still got another 3 to beat if they want to go up to 10. Which, in my age and everything, we probably could reach up to 10. And by the time we reach up to 10, God, I'd probably be in my 50s. And I'll still remember when I saw Iron Man the first time. And I'm going to be right there with my kids one day, all excited for it. But yes, that could be happening. Now, also with Avengers Doomsday, which we are having Doomsday back to back, head at each other. So it's also apparently rumored that one of the reasons why Warner Brothers did not push the date of Doomsday, June 3 to a different date, is because the fact that they have locked in exclusive rights for IMAX for 3 weeks. Because originally Dune announced that date first before Avengers Doomsday got pushed back. So apparently they've got the 3 weeks of exclusive rights. So ideally, if you're wanting to see Avengers Doomsday on IMAX screens, it most likely will not happen until January. And then look, there's going to be works around that, because I can tell you right now, IMAX is not going to want to miss a single drop of that bank of money coming in with Doomsday coming around, because they know they are going to make money. They're going to make bank. The Mouse House has the money to pay it. So there's going to be a work around it. In saying that, so I'm really curious to see what's going to happen. Which of these movie titans are going to come on top. I think it's going to be Doomsday is going to make them more money. I feel like that's a clear factor and completely, question. Like it's obvious. It's obvious that Avengers Doomsday is going to make more money. But coming in, the fact that we've got these two titans at the end of the year going head to head right before Christmas it's going to be great for theaters, cinemas. It's going to make the money. It's going to make bank on this for how much money the Mouse House is paying for this. And of course, we're going to get more excited for it because with the Super Bowl coming around, there's a lot of trailers that are rumored for that, which I mentioned the other week. So don't forget the fact that we've got Toy Story 5 trailer, the Super Mario Galaxy trailer, Avengers Doomsday, Dune, something else in between that as well. That's all rumored for Super Bowl, which I'm pretty sure. I want to say the Super Bowl's March, isn't it? I always forget every year when that comes out. I'm sure someone's already correcting me in some part of the world. Oh, it's Feb. Oh, yeah, it's Feb. Okay, yeah. So the Super Bowl is Feb 8th. So around the corner. That we could really get the second trailer for Doomsday. Technically the first trailer for Doomsday, what these teasers are leading up to. So that would be, that'd be really cool. But God, in that halftime show, there was a lot of trailers that need to be pumped out for that. Right up. Also, okay, so this is what I mentioned about the bad news at the beginning of this episode. And it's kind of got it, and it's really hard because when games get announced, especially remakes, depending on type of title, you can get really excited. You can be awesome for it. Like you're like, I'm all up for this. You want to dive in to a game that brought you so many memories. Those first feelings of being the hero or first feelings of being the bad guy, the villains the frustrations you got in particular sections. And look, Ubisoft announced the fact they were making Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, then they were doing a remake. It was going to be built from the ground up, and they'll go work on it. I was all for that. I loved Prince of Persia when it came out. It was one of those games I played multiple times, loved it, and went through the franchise. But Sands of Time, picking it all up, that's what was great about it. So when I saw the remake, I was like, I'm all in. Until last week, when you get Ubisoft saying apparently they've cancelled a few projects, and there's also layoffs, and they've cancelled Prince of Persia because apparently they put out a statement, which is usually what we do see is the fact apparently the amount of time it would take for it to be where it needed to be would cost thousands of dollars and time money that we don't have. So unfortunately, the project has been cancelled. And look, there's a plethora of games, great games that have been announced, have come out, have been shit, or been announced and never seen the light of day. And, it's just, again, it's a worrying time when you see stuff in this gaming industry, especially Ubisoft, because the last game was Assassin's Creed Shadows, which, was positive, but it wasn't great. It wasn't, it didn't make an outstanding amount of money for them. So it's hard to see this, especially with layoffs. What happened with Rockstar as well with the pretty sure it was a bomb thing. Probably it was also going to happen then. So it's hard when you see the layoffs because I feel like in the past 3 years, I have reported on multiple layoffs in the gaming community from acquisitions and stuff like that. So it's just good to see, especially when this, Prince of Persia, being one of their flagship franchises, and you see that it got cancelled in being the remake. And of course, when you do want something to be perfect and you can't achieve it, you're like, what's the point? I'm not going to make it. Fully understandable. Get that right there. If we look into the other side of the fence, there's a whole rumor going around with Fallout 3 remake. There's a Fallout 2 remake rumor going around, and Fallout New Vegas remake. It's all floating around. And I know whatever it's going to be, the other two games, people are going to be really disappointed it wasn't that one. I personally hope it's New Vegas that gets remade. But there's going to be other people that want Fallout 3 to be remade, and Fallout 2. So it's a really hard thing. But yeah, seeing this in the Ubisoft one, I was kind of gutted that we won't be getting that. And if anyone's worrying about the pauses coming out, of course I am drinking because we are not doing this episode sober at all. But yeah, it's very good to see, unfortunately. So yeah, Ubisoft fans, Sands of Time fans, it ain't the case. Case at all. But look, we'll be interested to see what's going to happen with Ubisoft moving forward, because I feel like they've had a few losses on their behalf. However, that is some of the biggest news that's happened in the past week. Let's talk about the season finale of Peter Jackson and the Sea of Monsters Season 2, which I would also like to say a big surprise, the fact that we're getting a Season 3 at the end of this year. I wish I was expecting, I was like, all right, guess Season 3 is going to be 2027, yay. But no, we got the teaser from Disney Plus. It's coming out at the end of this year. No official release date where I get into that. And of course, that is going to be covering up the Titan's Curse. Going for the third book in the Percy Jackson franchise. Now, with this too, this season, I'd have to say, overall, look, the CGI was. How can I put this? I'm trying to think out how I can really put in this. Look, Percy Jackson Season 1, we did a review of it when it came out. It was solid. Going back into this mythological world, which is fantastic, especially the Peter Jackson books. Going back, loved it. First season now out of the park. And there's just something about Zeus, the gods, it's mythological that I do really like. And which is one of the reasons why I'm really excited for Odysseus in that sense, which I'm really excited. I'm really up for it. Going into that's going to be post one. I think there should be more movies, like Clash of the Titans. Then again, I don't think it's going to get remade. So season 1 was positive. So picking up with season 2 left off, it is doing a great job of being close to the books. The action is there. I do recommend this for family watching, for kids. Like, it is not too bloody, not too dark, in that sense. Except for this season, it really did get a little bit like Hunger Games vibes with the battle. However, speaking about the ending, which I'll get to, but everyone's returned in this. But of course, Zeus got recast because unfortunately the previous actor, he passed away. So they got recast. Zeus is in this, and of course we're going to spoiler territory. Sorry, spoilers, left, right, and center. He did get recast. So at the end, last episode 8, we do get different Zeus, but very similar vibe in this. So of course with this one, the Sea of Monsters, and of course with the tree is the shield's failing, and that becomes the quest that they need to find the fleece and heal it. So that becomes the whole mission of the entire series. And every episode, nothing felt fillerish. Nothing feels like that. Each episode feels like it does its own stance. We do get a little bit more dive into each of these characters. We also get new characters like Tyson, Percy's brother. We do get that. We do get a couple of gods that we haven't seen before, which is a nice aspect. Of course, we do get of course, we get Percy Jackson and Annabeth getting closer, which that will go into season 3 on that aspect. But they, going into this, the CGI could be a little bit better because Tyson being a Cyclops, there was a couple of scenes in that was a bit like, ooh, it's that could be a little touched up a little bit better. But of course, that becomes that. Well, if you want to touch up better, then we need longer time. You want new seasons. I do understand it comes a bit of battle, but you got to remember this is Disney money, so they should be paying all this. So of course we get with Luke, who goes against Camp Half-Blood, and we get he wants to resurrect Kronos, which we don't see Kronos in this one. Again, we don't see Kronos in this, just his voice with Percy. And as the season goes across, it kind of shifts from Kronos being someone to be really worried about to missing Titalia, which is Zeus's daughter, and what she can mean because, of course, what Percy's having, the dreams, the fact that she kills him, and the prophecies that one of the children of the gods of the region of the age 16 will either help or burn Olympus to the ground. And when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, God, if Kratos pops up, I will lose my mind. He's not, but it would be a really cool touch. Someone just to make a comment, but I know people want to be faithful to the books. But, if someone just made a comment about Kratos being like, oh, there's that Spartan, he's getting really angry lately. Like, that would be great. That'd be great. Especially the fact that God of War TV show is ramping up and the casting is all coming out. But, we do get a little blood in this. There's other scenes where CGI doesn't really add up and could be touched up a bit more. But I found the pacing is good across the episodes. More so the fact that what I didn't like is that, with the shows, it goes all about this battle between Luke's team of outcasts and Camp Half-Blood doing this fight. And the fight that we get at the end of the show, it really is no more than like 10 minutes, if that. I was expecting something a lot more epic because they were building all to this. Going into this, it was only like 10 minutes over, and it was all over. I was even talking to a friend about, I was like, hey, did you watch the last episode of Peter Jackson? He's like, yeah, I did watch that one. I was like, yeah, that was the final. He's like, what? I was like, yeah, it was the final. He's like, that didn't feel like a final. Like that's really, he's like, that didn't feel like it. That felt rushed. And I agree with you. It just seemed like, I know it's harder with TV shows. I get that, which we've seen time and time again with these. But I feel like that last episode, from the promos, it looked, it was going to be action packed. It was going to be a lot. Don't get me wrong, a lot does happen, but it all just seems a bit too quick in all of it. Just to wrap it up, so I almost felt like it could have been either longer. I don't know how you stretch it out to another episode, maybe not, or the fact you cut out something during this episode, so it could be a little bit bigger. I was expecting a bigger battle, but of course, Vitaly she comes back, and she's a new cast member for going into season 3. We also have Daphne Keane during season 3 as a recurring character. X-23. So going into the show, it does get that fix that issue into this mythology. The show is good, and I have seen people say some bad comments about it. I don't think it's bad. Like, this is, I was showing my kids this. There wasn't a whole like a critique about it in a sense like that was really bad, or this just feels like it's taking forever. And I'm watching this at the same time I'm watching Fallout season 2, and Fallout is the far superior show. But sometimes when you watch a really good show and then when you watch a really bad show, it becomes very glaring on how bad it can be. And I'm pretty sure, like, for example, like I can't remember what I was watching at the time, but I was watching The Acolyte. And the other show I was watching was absolutely good. I think it was The Boys. So I was watching The Boys last season and I was watching Acolyte. And that felt glaring between a really good show, really good writing, and then you get Acolyte, which the writing wasn't as great, and you feel it straight there. But I think season 2 of Percy Jackson is right up there, and it's done a good job with the books. And I do know that they have mentioned the fact that each season will be covering a book, and they do want to expand it further. I think the kids are really good altogether. It was kind of a shame with Grover, of course, because the books he felt like he took a very big back step in this season. So I'm really hoping that with season 3 going to the next book, the fact that he is more present, because he was one of the good. I did like his character from the first season, so hopefully he's around a lot more. That would be great. That'd be awesome. And again, the fact that we're getting season 3 at the end of this year is fantastic. I'm don't think someone probably could be wrong. I don't think Disney Plus has done this, but I don't think they'll break it up. I think we'll get a full season, but which means the fact that if we do get that, I do not expect the fact that season 5 of Percy Jackson will not be coming out until about 2027, 2028. So we will fill that gap right there. So I would not expect to see another season of it next year. Look, if we do get it around about Christmas, that's absolutely win. That's a big break. So again, if again, season 2 stays strong. I feel like the first season was a bit stronger, but this is still keeping on the same bar. It's going there. There's a lot leading up to what's going to be happening with the prophecy, Chronos, everything. So it'd be fantastic going next season. So I'm fully amped for this going into. But I would love to know, what do you think of the show? What did you think of what did you think at the end of it? Did you hate it? Do you love it? Do you think it was too rushed? Let me know, and let's rant about it, because I will always up for a rant. And ladies and gentlemen, ranters and rantettes, that is my review of Percy Jackson Season 2, the Sea of Monsters. And next week we're going to have jam-packed review, which I can't wait for it. To talk to you guys about more. And of course, the season finale of Fallout Season 2 is around the corner. Sorry, totally forgot. That's actually another week, but next week we're going to be talking about Wonder Man, which Wonder Man is getting some really fantastic early reviews. One of the best things about Wonder Man is the fact that we're getting the full season, full drop on July 27th. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, ranters and rantettes, until next time, until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.